France just announced its rise as an influential Indo-Pacific power, and the ambitious French President Emmanuel Macron seems to have won his first battle against the megalomaniac Chinese President Xi Jinping in the French overseas territory of New Caledonia. Located in the southwest Pacific Ocean, New Caledonia is an archipelago spread over a land area of over 18,000 square kilometers and is inhabited by a small population of over 270,000 people. The archipelago became French in 1853 under Emperor Napoleon III. For several decades, it remained a prison colony and became an overseas territory only in 2017. China was trying to snatch the Pacific archipelago from France, but Macron and the people of New Caledonia have now managed to give the Chinese a bloody nose. Stay tuned to know how. Hi and welcome to TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I am your host Shubhangi, and in this video I will tell you how China has lost a key battle against France. Let's begin. China has lost a key battle against France. The communist nation has put all its diplomatic capital at stake in order to get New Caledonia to declare independence from France. However, New Caledonia has decided to stay with France in a decisive referendum held on Sunday. The referendum that took place on Sunday passed a question to 185,000 odd voters. Do you want New Caledonia to gain full sovereignty and become independent? This was the third referendum in a series of 3 such votes fixed by the 1998 Noumea Accord. So, the third and final referendum in New Caledonia was turning out to be a crucial event. In the year 2018, France won the first referendum with 56.4% of the vote. The second referendum held last year also resulted in a French victory with 53.26% of the vote. It wasn't as if Paris secured landslide victories in the last 2 referendums. As such, if New Caledonia had voted in favor of independence this time around, then China could have used this opportunity to shore up its influence in the archipelago nation located only 1,200 kilometers east of Australia. However, out of 90% of the ballots that were counted, 96.32% of voters had voted no to independence, making it very clear that New Caledonia does not want to sever its ties from France, especially given the Chinese threat. The pro-independence groups have protested against the referendum verdict and said that they wanted the voting to be postponed to September, arguing that a fair campaign was not possible with high coronavirus infection numbers. However, there are no major questions regarding the free and fair character of the voting. French President Emmanuel Macron even avoided taking sides in the referendum debate in a show of neutrality and made it clear that his role was only to ensure that the vote takes place in the right way and in the right conditions. New Caledonia is home to about 10% of the global reserves of nickel, an important raw material used in making stainless steel, batteries, and mobile phones. Beijing was therefore looking to shore up its influence in the archipelago in order to usurp all of its nickel resources. China was trying to gobble up not just New Caledonia but also the French naval base there. China had tried to spread its tentacles to New Caledonia by monopolizing sales of nickel from the French territory. Xi Jinping made it a point to ensure that the French territory got most of its funding through nickel sales to his country. In 2018, New Caledonia's exports to China totaled $1.06 billion. With this, China tried to match up to French influence in the archipelago as Paris extends an aid of $1.5 billion to the former penal colony on the annual basis. For China to export almost as much as France pays to the archipelago on an annual basis suggested that Beijing wanted to buy out New Caledonia. However, New Caledonians have refused to sign Xi Jinping's sale deed, and Macron has therefore managed to contain Chinese influence in the French overseas territory. Notably, during the 2018 referendum in the French archipelago, President Macron had warned that China was quote-unquote building its hegemony step by step, a hegemony which will reduce our freedom, our opportunities in the Pacific. During the same trip, Macron had taken a stop in Australia where he pointed out the need for a Paris-Delhi-Canberra axis while adding that it was absolutely key for the region and our joint objectives in the Indo-Pacific. French international relations analyst Bastien van Dendyck said, "If the French safeguard disappears, all elements would be in place for China to establish itself permanently in New Caledonia." He added that other nations in the region, such as Fiji, Vanuatu, and the Solomon Islands, had already become Chinese satellites. He further explained, "All China needs now to complete its pearl necklace on Australia's doorstep is New Caledonia." So Xi Jinping was looking to surround Australia on all sides by building influence in surrounding islands and mobilizing the People's Liberation Army assets in Australia's vicinity. However, New Caledonia continues to function as a crucial French outpost that counterbalances growing Chinese influence in the region. France's victory in the third and final referendum in New Caledonia is therefore not just Macron's victory, but it is the victory of the Paris-Delhi-Canberra axis.